That must be why you wanted the picture audio only, huh?
I mean, you know what? It can help my self-esteem to not see myself.
Yeah, well, me too, a bit. Welcome to
It helps your self-esteem to not see me.
or me. Another episode of jankityasspodcast number 48. Real quick, first off, if you haven't already, go down to the corner of the screen, go to Multi-Murdy Media, like, subscribe on YouTube here, which is what you're watching, like everywhere else, depending. You'll get this playlist. You'll also get the Gutsy Ass Gamer, which is video games with Twitch, which I've been working on earlier today. And you will also get Poncho's Paint Booth, which is my hobby and painting stuff, which Tom here is doing himself, it would seem.
Yeah, tonight I am working on the other podcast I'm on. We have a bunch of armies that we share. Right now I'm working on some white scars.
Ooh,
Check out that
fancy.
glorious ceramic dull white. Yeah. But dude, holy crap, I've got like 50 assault intercessors. So much freaking chain painting. Good God.
Which is funny, because that was the last video I actually uploaded, was my assault intercessors, which will be right here on Multi-Murdy Media in
Ooh, nice.
3 weeks' time. Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's good to have that backlog. It's good to have a backlog content.
Or no, 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time. Off a little bit. And then, of course, as far as this podcast goes, we're also on every major podcast platform, wherever you like to listen to. So that's your iTunes, your Spotify, Pandora, all those, and a bunch of other ones in between as well. And let's see what else. Also, look up and find Multi-Murdy Media on Instagram and Facebook to get all like 95% of updates whenever new shows drop. I miss one every once in a while, just because. Keep it spicy, or something like that.
Yeah, surprise.
But you get updates.
Test to see if you got those notifications set up.
Yep. Updates on all the new shows. And last but not least, the newest part is my new website for Multi-Murdy Media. Gives you links to all the different shows. And also, that's where I'm putting up my, that's the new home for my model gallery, including most of what I've painted on the show already. So.
Oh, nice.
And as far as, well, let's see. I also still have to get rid of my old website, or at least stop paying for it. I should probably get rid of it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to behoove you to do that.
Oh, I used I think I already told you I used Squarespace for my the hosting for this website, and it's definitely more expensive, and you have to pay for a domain name too, which kind of sucks. But
do you get more bang for your buck though?
Oh yeah, it's a lot easier to use. The only thing that's kind of unfortunate is you can't make columns within a whatchamacallit,
like a page or a post,
like within a segment. It's only you can only stack them vertically, but I mean, that's a small thing. And of course, if you add in like a gallery element, add a bunch of pictures in, you can just put links on those anyway. So it's the same. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, because if I didn't pay for a domain name, then my site would literally just be a bunch of random letters and numbers, which does not work.
Which, could add to the mystery. I don't know. Mystery branding seems to work, right?
Yeah, it'd be bullshit though. And as far speaking of social media, I believe I finally cracked the code for advertising. since
Oh, good.
I
I remember
managed
we
to
talked
get
about
one.
that last time.
Yeah, I managed to get one to stay up, and I also, well, one of the things that was interesting is before, whenever I had Instagram, I would make a promotion there, and it would only be there. But then on Facebook, whenever I tried making a promotion there, I could also select to have it run on Instagram. Obviously, it wouldn't be like under my actual page there because it would just kind of be like a separate go around sort of thing. But now, I was telling you before that like for some reason I can't make ads on Instagram anymore. But but then I was still seeing stats, or not on Instagram or on Facebook, but I was still seeing stats on Facebook from the Instagram promotion, the previous one that I tried running. So it's still connected, and I guess that's just their way of saying like you only really have like we're just having you do everything through Instagram now, and it'll kind of work in both areas. So
I feel like a lot of this podcast that we're doing should also just be marketed to people starting podcasts, because I feel like every other week we're talking about like, and I encountered this issue. This is what I did to solve it. It's like, that should be another tagline of the show. If you want to start a podcast and don't want to do all the mistakes that we made, listen.
Well, I mean, yeah, even my Buzzsprout ad is literally for people starting new podcasts there or wanting to. Oh boy.
Yep. I saw you disappear for a second, and I was like, all right, I'll wait.
Here we go again. And speaking of starting new stuff, I also got a new beverage.
Ooh, nice. What is
here
it?
that I want to try. This is from Wisemanbrewing. It is the Overnight Success smoothie style sour. So this is gonna be nice and thick. I've never had a smoothie beer.
Where is Wiseman Brewing?
Let's see. It's got the shape of the state, but I don't know what state that is, so where the fuck is it? Well, what I can tell you is that it's brewed with cherry, pineapple, and vanilla and lactose. So that should be fun.
Ooh.
Which would probably not be good for you.
I'd still drink it and then just regret it. But like in a more normal, more excessive regretting than I normally do with booze.
Sure. Let me just go ahead and pour some of this out so I can actually search the can better. I want to say... Fuck, never mind. All right, well, it's not as thick as I thought it would be. Nice and sour. What
Nice.
state does that look like to you? I don't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, that looks like North Carolina.
That might be it. Yeah, WSNC. That's what it said. So
let's see if I'm right.
Yep,
that's North Carolina.
All right. There you go, North Carolina.
So I bet, and then the name of the town was what again?
The initials were WS.
Yeah.
You know what?
Watch it be called Wise County or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Or Wise
Here we go.
County.
What? Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Huh.
It's a town so good it has two names. I guess.
Yeah, especially considering most times you see towns, it's like it's either some like bullshit adjective like pleasant something or happy something, or it's like a direction, right? It's like it's usually one of those two things.
Northtown.
Yeah. Yeah. Taller place, I don't know.
It's not bad. Nice little sour. As advertised. I thought... Yeah.
Is that what?
I was say whenever it said smoothie, I thought it was going to be like an actual kind of like a puree style smoothie.
Like a,
Which would be...
yeah, I mean that's what I thought when you said it.
I did see there was another brand on my app that I haven't tried, but they have some that look a little bit more on the smoothie side. Or at least they're opaque drinks or whatever.
There you go.
Nice and thick.
I, of course, am maintaining my futile attempt to get in shape purely from a diet perspective, so I'm drinking more club soda tonight. To my utter fails. But hey, I'm saving money, so I
True.
ain't gonna complain there.
Yeah, speaking of money, I got my second round of $600, but I have no idea where it is. It should be.
It's gone.
Yeah. No, it should just be in my main account since that's where it was before. Or maybe it just hasn't processed yet. I don't know. The only thing that I really do know is that nobody over there really has any idea what's going on or what they're doing. So.
I have a feeling that's most branches of the United States government, but
Oh yeah, especially now. But yeah, I mean back whenever I went back to my venue for a little bit for some work shifts, all my other coworkers were telling me that there were a few times that they would try and call into the EDD office, the unemployment thing, and the people on the line were all just I don't know, whatever. It's like, oh shit, all right. So just lie, I guess, on everything.
Yeah. Sheesh. I can't tell you how many times that I'd just much rather hear I don't know than something that's not right. Like, I remember I had to deal with some bullshit with the Pasadena parking department, and I called twice about something about, okay, I gotta go in, I gotta do all this shit, and the person gave me all these instructions, and then I go into the office and I talk to the person, and they're like, no, none of that's right, this is what you need to do. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And it was one of those painful experiences of my life, just watching. It was like watching the bureaucracy in action, those typical scenes at the DMV or dealing with a government employee where you can tell they just do not give a shit about you and are only interacting with you because they literally have to. You could just feel it. Oh my gosh. It's hilarious too. You go to Google and for a department of parking and all that, it has a shocking number of reviews just at all. And they're all 1 to 3 stars. They're just awful reviews, and not like it's gonna do anything, but that's just how much people got so pissed that they were like, okay, I'm going online. I'm saying how bad this is.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's pretty bad.
I'm definitely not a especially working doing deliveries. I'm not a fan of parking enforcement in any, or well, not even just because of that.
I feel like sometimes it's
in life.
Well, and it's funny too, right? Because I've lived in places where parking is like water. It's just it's everywhere. So Phoenix, when I was there, and even when I went back for their visit, it was parking wasn't even an issue, at all. You almost never saw parking signs. And if you did, it's because of street cleaning. DC, New York, all those areas over there when I was there, it's first come, first serve, and it's a jungle out there. Get wrecked. And then here in Pasadena specifically, it's very strict, which means it's oh, okay, they're just trying to make income off of parking citations. Cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, even whenever I go back home, within an area of suburb blocks from my house, you'd be surprised to even see 3 cars on the street. There's usually nothing. Oof. And all the parking lots are too big to fill. So. Not like around
Yeah,
here.
one day when they get that
yeah.
population boom. Yeah.
It wouldn't be so much that. It would just be like everybody coming here or something like that. Or coming back, maybe. I'm sure there's a lot of people in Texas that are probably like,
back.
I hear California's real nice
they
this
moved
time
to
of
Texas
year.
or something.
Dude, what that would be a motherfucker. Like, you get there and then you just get completely bombed out by nature.
Oh man. What's on music this week?
Nothing new, but I was I don't know, did you ever listen to that newer Deftones album, the one that I had the beer of a couple weeks ago?
Oh shit, no I didn't. Let me add that to my thing. I'll actually start just listening to it now.
It's called Alms by Deftones. I did my own little intro on the show a while back when I got it. That one's a good one.
Oh, I have heard it, but I haven't heard it recently. Yeah, no, I've heard this album. I recognize the cover. I just haven't heard it in a while. I remember liking it.
Oh, yeah,
I think I saw. Did I see Deftones or did I see? What was it? I think it was. Yeah, I think I saw Deftones. No, I saw Helmet. I saw Helmet at Pomona like 2-3 years ago. It was a great show. Like one of those small stage shows. Like just enough people went where there was a crowd, but like you could tell like not enough people have heard of the band for a while. Or is it maybe it was Hum? It was Hum. I didn't see Helmet. I'm pretty sure Helmet's broken up. I think I saw Hum.
Helmet came back for a little bit, but I think that was more just like a reunion type of show.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I was lucky enough to see Deftones quite a while ago. Actually, whenever they played at what was the concert? Aftershock down in Anaheim.
Oh, nice.
This would have been 2012 or 13. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
But,
just a bit, just barely almost a decade if you round up.
All right. Let's see. And then I actually also saw them at one of those shows at Amoeba whenever their previous album came out, which is not my favorite. It's probably my least favorite album of theirs, the one before this one. But I mean, I got to see them literally just for the price of an album,
which is insane. That's a great deal.
$12. It was kind of weird because at the old Amoeba, like they have like a little stage, but then you just kind of have to stand in like the aisles with all the CDs and stuff.
See, I only went to the original Amoeba because that one's on. That's like in Hollywood near the ArcLight Theater, right?
It was on ArcLight. You mean the
remember the movie,
the Cinedome,
big old movie
or whatever?
Yeah, the Cinedome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was over by there.
Yeah, because I only ended up going into Amoeba like once before the pandemic, and I remember just going because I was like, this is like a landmark. I gotta go in. I don't think I ended up buying anything, but I remember looking around. It was huge, man. There was like, it was kind of an experience too. I felt like I was like thrown back to like the 90s, you know?
Oh yeah, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's been there for a while, too. But no, they're fortunately they're not out of business. They're just moving up the street to where those new apartment buildings are.
Okay.
On Hollywood.
Yeah, because they had to shut down initially because of the pandemic, and then they got like basically community saved, right?
Yes and no. They were already shutting down at the end of their lease for lease reasons.
For lease purposes.
Yeah, probably meaning that they were getting screwed.
Probably getting shafted on that rent. Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, that's some prime location.
Prime-ish. But now they're going to be up there by like where Shake Shack and kind of closer to the Pantages, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
So same sort of deal. And at least for me, work-wise, it's literally still, I think it's actually a little bit closer. It's
nice.
Like a block and a half instead of 2 blocks or something like that. So that's not too bad.
I mean, hey, no, a little bit of an upgrade there. For me, music-wise, partially because I've been painting the White Scars, which, for those who don't know, White Scars are a faction of 40k that are very inspired by the Mongolian culture / like Genghis Khan and all that stuff. But imagine them in like space, so it's like kind of fun and cool that way. But there actually is a fantastic genre of rock and metal that's Mongolian, and right now I'm listening to Nine Treasures.
Are you listening to this show and thinking, man, I'd like to start a podcast, but I don't even know where to start? Well, Buzzsprout has the answers for you. Buzzsprout is a podcast hosting service that provides a number of valuable resources to help you on your podcasting career path. For one, Buzzsprout offers indefinite hosting of all your episodes and allows you to host as much material as you want, depending on the type of subscription that you opt for. Buzzsprout also provides a means for getting your show hosted to every major podcasting platforms such as iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, you name it. In addition, Buzzsprout also provides various means to get your show monetized through various sponsorship and affiliate programs, links to other paid hosting platforms such as Patreon and YouTube, and your own personal newsroom to learn all the tips and tricks for optimizing your podcast for the greatest return on your investment. If you're hearing all this and you're still interested, you can go to my link below and receive an Amazon gift card for starting a podcast hosting subscription that you'll receive on the second billing period of your podcast journey. Everyone has something to share, and there's no time like the present. Join Buzzsprout today. Now, okay, so you were at you just said Nine Treasures and then you went out.
You're coming in and out a little bit.
Yada yada yada.
I mean, I can hear you, but sometimes it starts to warble and slow down. Your video is basically on catch up right now.
Ah, shit. Here, I'll just.
Is there anybody else like using the internet, or can you take your phone off of it, or? I mean, because the more devices that are using your shit is going to be like, it's going to slow things down.
Yeah, hang on, let me airplane this.
Well, you don't even have to airplane it, just turn the Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Actually. All right. Well, we were still recording, so we're all good. So.
Oh, there you go.
Also, this.
Well, I guess I didn't lose my whole monologue, but so long story short, Mongolian metal and rock.
I thought you were gonna mention the what was that other newer band? The Who, I think. but like
Yeah,
HU.
yeah, no, I actually mentioned them right as I dropped. But they're an up and coming rock band. They're actually Mongolian too. I think most Mongolian rock metal bands are. Maybe they have like some outside members, but like these guys are just straight up Mongolian. Like they need translators for when they do interviews, and they kick some pretty serious ass. Like definitely, like they're not quite like metal, but they're along the lines of rock or hard rock. But definitely fun to listen to, and great production value actually. Like really good music production. Whoever does it for them.
I mean, they were good enough to get the guy from Papa Roach on there.
Yeah,
Shit. So
yeah. They had somebody else too. Forget who was a co-singer with one of their things. Let me see.
Hailstorm. That girl.
Yes,
Lizzie Hale.
That girl. That
gal.
And one of their songs, that gal. One of their songs is now Star Wars canon, which is pretty solid. That's a good way to get immortal. It was like the Coliseum Arena song, in what is it? Fallen. Is it called Fallen? Oh my God, what's it called?
It was the second of the new trilogy, right?
No. It wasn't a movie. It was a game. It was. I just can't believe I'm blanking on it. I love this game. It's Cal. I mean, I know the characters, like Cal Kestis is the character, and then he's got that Night Sister chick with him. Fallen Order. That's it.
Oh, the
Like,
that newer one.
yeah, which great game if you haven't played it. Solid game. But what is it? Wait, where did my windows go? Where did my zoom go? Why is my zoom no longer here? There you are, because it's minimized over there, like an idiot.
Surprise!
But no, yeah, it's a great game, and like they have like a song in there where it's like totally their style, but they like make up a Star Wars alien language, and it's like a song that you hear Cal listening to on his headphones in the beginning, and then you hear it again like when there's a Coliseum fight, without any spoilers really. And it's legit. It's like a solid song, and it totally sounds like them while also totally sounding like it could be like a Cantina song or a Star Wars song. You know, it's just such like one of my favorites.
So you're saying they're saying Mongolians sound like aliens? Got it.
I didn't hear the punchline, but I'm assuming it's funny.
Yep. Also, I had to switch beers already. This time.
Oh, was it not? Did you not enjoy it?
No, it went real quick. Which I mean that's pretty much me and any first beer of the night. It just sort of
just
yeah, it's just gone
disappears.
Right away. And yeah, that went down pretty smooth. But no, this time I got the rail splitter from Lincoln Brew Company, which is actually just right over in Burbank.
Oh wow, okay.
I was there the other night, and they've managed to actually be open for a while, but they also have to rely on food trucks, which is kind of unfortunate, especially in the event that they're scheduled to have somebody there and then they just bail out. Then they just aren't able to open up for like drink-in services for the night.
That's a shame.
But at least a lot of other breweries have finally figured out how to open up, but it kind of sucks because like they only open during the day, like during business hours, and even less on the weekends.
Well, I mean, as we know, during the day, during business hours, that's prime drinking time.
True. But I mean, like, yeah, I wanted to go to Santa Monica Brew, for instance, but they're literally only open from like 1 to 4 during the weekends. Which,
damn.
Yeah,
that's like a terrible hour, like 1 to 4.
It's kind of bullshit. But there are some other ones that were open later, like the Arts District Brewery downtown.
Oh yeah, I think I've been to that one actually.
Yeah, it's a little kind of on the little east of the DTLA area. They've been we checked them out a couple weeks ago, and they were open nice and late to a decent hour. That was also right before I figured out that my last potential roommate was a bit of a crazy person. So memorable times.
Yeah.
Which I already told you
Yeah,
about the
that
updates there too.
yeah, I mean, I was watching that video you sent me, and I'm like, yeah, man, like anybody who goes to like, it's like, don't get me wrong, I totally understand like the number of hypocrisies that are associated with like mask, no mask pandemic and this and that and like policies. Like, dude, like there was that whole thing where like production crews could serve food, but restaurants couldn't. Like, I get it. It's rife with hypocrisy. But if you go picking fights and go acting like, oh, like this is so dumb, you guys. Like, I'm gonna film myself on social media for likes. Like, we know it's dumb. You're not proving anything except that you're an asshole looking for likes. Come on. This person's trying to do their job. They don't have any control over it. They probably think it's stupid too, but who cares? Like, they're just trying to stay employed and like have a decent day about it. You know? And like, you coming in here all high and mighty is not gonna like, it's not gonna be the thing that like Biden watches it and he's like, oh my God, look at this. You guys, this is it. I'm gonna change everything. What we've been doing it wrong.
It's like that.
Get out of here with that. Come on.
It's like that day my heart grew 10 sizes bigger. Just like the Grinch.
Right. And the COVID cases.
It's like, yeah, right. That day the death crowd grew 10 sizes bigger. Speaking of fun bullshit and cancellations and all that stuff, apparently Dr. Seuss pulled a bunch of their own books. And then that turned into a whole thing.
Which is like the dumbest thing, considering that guy, like, I know he did some caricatures in the beginning, but like he moved away from that, and like all of his books were about inclusion and diversity and forward thinking. I mean, the guy survived Nazi Germany, for crying out loud. Like, he got out in time. Like, the hell? Like, and we're crucifying him because, you know, at one point he was a bad person. You know, if that's the case, then there's a whole host of people that we still worship that aren't Confederates that need to be removed.
I did not know about the World War II thing. Wait, what do you mean survived? Like, he was there
so
when...
he escaped. He escaped from what I understand at a young age. That's why he was so vocal against them. Let me check.
So I was gonna say, as long as you're not saying like, oh yeah, he wasn't like Jewish or anything, and he just kind of lived around Europe, but he survived. That would be like...
Yeah. So let's see. No, I'm mistaking it a little. I'm mistaking it a lot. Hang on. He was born in Massachusetts, so that kind of rules some things out. But his family was German, and he experienced prejudice for being German because of World War One. Yeah, but he was very outspoken against Hitler and Mussolini. I mean, he was a political cartoonist too. Yeah.
Just say, speaking of,
So.
I did think it was funny. I remember hearing about how apparently Mussolini like was gonna pull out and like didn't want to be a part of like any of the Axis or anything like that, but apparently Hitler got nice and hopped up on cocaine or whatever and just kind of went and yelled at him for like a good 10 hours and stuff. It was like, all right, I'm in. Which didn't help any of us, of course, but Definitely didn't help them either.
No, it did not. Man, there are so many like crazy little like what ifs of history that like if you look into, it just still blows my mind. Like what is it? The assassination of Franz Ferdinand almost didn't happen because the assassin missed his chance and then was like sitting in a cafe and was like, "Oh man, what am I gonna do?" And he's like, "Wait, this car just pulled up and the driver's going to the bathroom. Oh shit, that's my guy." Blam. Yeah. So. Or like I forget where, I think it was like Austria or Hungary, like way back in the day. But this king who was gonna go get married, like on a train ride over to meet his wife because it was like a political thing, shaves his beard, and when he gets there, the wife refuses to marry him because she's like, "This is not what you look like. This is bullcrap. I'm not doing this." And then insults were thrown around, and both countries declared war on each other for like the grand total of 30 minutes. And then eventually they settled and calmed down. They're like, okay, we're not at war anymore. And the woman was like, all right. And then it's just like this whole thing. I don't remember all the details, but it was like, it's considered one of the shortest actual like wars that ever occurred. Like it was legally a war by all pretense of the word, but nothing happened.
Nice. So it's the earliest you don't look like your Tinder profile case.
Basically. It seems I have been royally fished by a cat.
Well, at least he didn't create a whole new religion to try and behead his wife or anything like that, so there is that.
That motherfucker. I still get angry about thinking about King Henry sometimes. I'm like, you stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, apparently he was rich enough that he could be stupid all the live long day, so.
I mean, that's true of most people that are rich, right? It's like, I can afford to be dumb.
True. Oh, speaking of getting rich, or trying to get rich. Anyways, I kind of inadvertently got sort of shanghaied into a stocks and finance group. Much like I was with Team Rec.
Oh, nice.
In a way. But I was invited this time.
Oh.
I didn't just wake up one morning like, wait, what the fuck? Who are all these people in my message?
Yeah. Why am I registered to this? Unsubscribe? So have you actually done any investing or anything like that yet?
A little bit. I've lost about $10 so far. Not really a lot, but I mean, I'd already been doing or at least that's while trying my hand at like actual semi like short term and day trading. But,
yeah. See, I don't have enough time in the day to like monitor all that stuff, so I try to go for long term value investing. So like I'll like get a tip on some company that's like really cheap right now, but like there's rumors that there may be a deal or something, and then I'll be like, all right, well, I'll just dump some money in there, and if it grows, great, and if it doesn't, I didn't lose that much, you know. Because like to really make like serious money, like investing like that, like you have to have
serious
like,
money to begin with, yeah.
So I'm just trying to get to that point. Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to snowball my way there at least. But at the end of the day, too, the like it's it's better mileage than putting your shit in a savings account that doesn't do anything for you anymore, or but like actually today, what is it? I got my
USB?
Ledger Nano, so that's actually it's kind of USB, but it's actually it's a wallet for your cryptocurrency, because I'm gonna start getting into that now too, because I think that has some serious crazy value long term. So, but like it's so weird and complicated that like one of the things they recommend is like, yeah, just so you don't get hacked, keep your shit on a Ledger drive just to be on the safe side. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, man, trying to figure out about crypto is like, you need to go get a master's degree in something finance has never experienced before, and you don't know what your courses are, you don't know how well you did, and all of the source material disagrees with all the other source material. Good luck.
So pretty much the beginning of any field, almost.
Basically, that's what it feels like.
I'm kind of staying away from crypto. I have like a little bit of Bitcoin that I got through the Cash App, which is
There you go.
kind of safe, I guess. I
Oh,
made
yeah,
like
I
$100,
mean-
so
Oh, there you go.
and it's still there.
Yeah. Carson logic. I lost $10, but I'll keep investing. Bitcoin. I made $100. I'm gonna stay away.
No, I do have my I do have a bunch of money in like some other more just like ETFs and those kind of investments, like the stuff that's just going to give
there
you
you go.
dividends down the line, which I wish I'd kind
Yeah,
of
that's smart.
had a better grasp of a while ago. But, you know,
Dude, no one our age, I feel like, has, or in our group was taught the financial literacy we needed to have. Like, you could get away with being financially illiterate like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s because the system worked great, so you just kind of had to roll with it. And now it's like, no, you really need to understand all these things that are happening, or else you'll be screwed by things you didn't even know that you had no control over. It's like, oh, you didn't know that at that point? Well, too late.
well, I mean, also back in the day, most of the shit that we have to deal with now just didn't even exist at all. Like major stock trading or anything along those lines. You know, people didn't do that back then.
Well, right, because there was no access to it, but at the same time, the financial mechanisms in place didn't screw you over as much. I mean, sure, when the stock market tanked in the 20s and then I want to say 70s, like it hurt a lot of people, you know, because like their livelihood and their companies were affected by those crashes. But now we're at a point too where it's like, you know, there are like basic decisions that you have to make, like with your 401k or with your savings, or even with cryptocurrency or personal investing. And it's like no one teaches you that, and it's these things that, like, if you had done it, like started getting into it 10 years, you'd be so much more equipped now to do things, you know. It's like money I had in savings for forever that was just doing nothing for me, because in 7 years it loses 8% of its value because of inflation. And like not knowing how inflation works, because it also affects your you know, ideas about how policies work too, right? So for example, like the minimum wage, that's a big debate right now. And one big piece of logic that Republicans especially use is, well, we don't need to increase the minimum wage. Like I lived back, you know, my minimum wage when I was working was $7, and that was plenty good for me. And it's like, well, yeah, because you worked in a much more stable, healthy economy. And even if you adjust for inflation, $7 when you were working is still way more in value than even 15 is today, you know.
I think I
And
remember.
it's all these like straw man arguments, basically.
I think I remember seeing that the minimum wage, like in the 60s, inflated now would be like $24 or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the thing is that inflation is a design mechanism of how our economy works, and same with interest rates. And if you mess with those too much to your advantage, government and banking, then you're going to have problems where certain people get screwed on the outcome of that. And the people that get screwed when you mess with those things are primarily the middle class and the lower class. So all of a sudden now you have people starting to get pushed into that lower class, and that's why you have that wealth gap. And I've said all this without saying like, I'm not one of those people that says there should not be billionaires. Nah, if you're a billionaire, go for it. Like, hopefully you'll be a cool person and help other people out. If you're not, and you're an asshole, well, then that's your decision, you know. And that's what you've chosen to do. But like, you can be a billionaire without screwing everybody else over. And that's what the left forgets too, is they're like, oh, we need to like kill all this, and it's like, no, that's why people won't listen to you, because you're going from one extreme to the other. Like, come on.
Which is not what we do in this house. So
No, not in this house. This is not how we were raised.
Uh,
We don't go between extremes. We pick an extreme and stick with it.
yeah, right. Speaking of, well, not speaking of extremes or anything else. Speaking of, shit, I don't know what I'm speaking of, but it sounds like some things are going to be reopening sooner than we hoped, maybe, sort of. Because I remember I was telling you,
Yeah.
yeah, about how it seems like the game stores will be allowed to reopen or have like indoor stuff within the next 3 or 4 months. I think maybe sooner.
Yeah, there's some optimism that it may be for our area, Pasadena, which has its own CDC, we may get lucky and be able to start doing stuff in
That
April or
might be it.
May. So that's a part of it, I know that. But things are definitely taking an uptick, which is good.
And from what I
'Cause
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
cause duh, but
'Cause duh.
no, from what I understand, it sounds like live events in California, well, outdoor live events are going to be approved for like the end of April as well. So that'll
Oh,
be
really?
I mean, it would obviously be like, I don't know, limited, maybe like a parking lot show or something small at an amphitheater or something like that. But I mean,
Or like
it's something.
limited, like half capacity, maybe.
Probably less than that, but yeah. And it would be, well, I mean, it would be a sooner return to work for me, at least in that at that job,
That'd be solid.
especially since I don't need to use gas at work when I'm there. So that's a big help.
I heard that's I heard that's good.
I also don't have to take out my own taxes with that either. So
Yeah, that's another thing too. I think a lot of people learned the hard way is your unemployment benefits are taxable, which is like I understand why they are because mechanically they are not paid for by your taxes unless it's the California one, which we do separate. But that I know that bit a lot of people, which again is that financial literacy thing. Like no one tells you up front, oh hey, by the way, like these are like these are going to be taxable, and if they do say that, then they're not saying it the right way, you know?
yeah, but also at the same time though, I mean, it does. It literally says at the end of the thing that you fill out every 2 weeks or whatever. You know, there has the option withhold my taxes in kind of big bold letters. So if you don't see that, you're either stupid or you're like, yes, I will take this risk. No check.
Then I rescind some of my commentary.
Yeah,
I just still want to blame the government for something.
true. That's a pretty solid bet. But now the only thing that I'm kind of worried about is whenever like the last meeting that I had at that job, they were talking about like whenever things reopen, there's gonna be because we so at like any venue you're normally not really allowed to go in with like a backpack or anything like that or like a big bag, stuff like that. But then we
Right.
also have a coat check normally. I mean, obviously even with that, if something's like not permitted, prohibited, it's still not coming in anyway. Like you can't just be like, oh, I'll just leave my pistol in my backpack and coat check it. Is that okay? Like, no, get the fuck out of here. But no, we had a meeting kind of about like that policy, especially since like everybody's worried about with COVID, everybody's worried about transmission through touch. So then, that's why you see people walking around with
Right.
like 2 pairs of gloves and fucking plastic over their whole face and all that stuff. But so they were saying like now we're not gonna even allow backpacks inside the building or anything like that, and then anything that does come through that's like a single piece bag has to be like the clear plastic, like they do with grade schools.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I could see that.
Yeah. And to which I immediately said, okay, well that's not really a solution. That's just another problem. Like, is there going to be like an outdoor coat check or something like that? And I remember saying to my our manager, like, yeah, us security, we're not like a sewer grate that just catches all the shit. Like, you got to give us something too.
Yeah.
At least they listened to that, so we'll see what happens.
That must be nice. That must be nice having an employer that listens.
Oh yeah,
that's a rarity these days.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I know you work at a big company, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me that you never actually met your boss. You probably have, like, once.
Wouldn't say that again. You kind of broke up.
I was gonna say, like, you working at an office, I wouldn't be surprised if you had told me that you never actually met, like, your boss or something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean that could be a corporate reality, but like for us, it's actually not. Like we get some decent interaction time with them, in a normal setting at the very least. Now, when everyone's working remote, that's when you never see them. And I don't mean just because we're physically apart. It's because they're busy lights on all the time.
Of course. But no, I remember working at my my previous job where I worked at different venues and stuff like that. I literally had never met like my my overall scheduler or whatever, who's actually in charge of putting me places. Yeah. And then they also that guy also switched, or well, he left like halfway through when I was there, and had been replaced a couple of times, and I literally didn't even have any idea who those people were. So
that's crazy.
And that company doesn't exist anymore, so there you go. That's
well, there you go.
That's pretty much why.
Nobody put on schedule that the company has to keep going. Just got lost in the shuffle.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. Speaking of work, yeah, I ended up down in whatchamacallit? I ended up down in kind of East Hollywood, which is my my old stopping grounds before everything closed up, and a lot of my old eating spots for like after shifts are gone, unfortunately.
Seriously?
Yeah, like
oh, man.
One of the ones I used to go to a lot was it used to be Juicy Wings, right there on it was like Sunset and Cahuenga or something like that, or a little off, and then it became OG Wings, which was a little bit more expensive. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they were good. They had some good ass wings. I'll tell you, and it's Hollywood.
Good ass wings.
And actually, I remember the original, the original store that used to be, because they switched owners at one point. But you used to be able to order up to 1,000 wings.
But, Jesus, that's disgusting, but amazing.
But the only stipulation was that I think it was like after 200 you had to do it in advance, like a catering order.
Oh right, yeah.
But I mean, it was like,
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, it was right there on the menu though, so that was kind of weird.
Well, plus that probably was great for like parties. You just order a batch of 1,000 wings, and you're like, Super Bowl party, here we go.
Oh yeah, and I think if I remember right, they had at least a couple flavors that were stronger than or hotter than like whatever the hottest one at Buffalo Wild Wings was.
Ooh,
I believe
that's a place I haven't been to in a long time.
Oh yeah, me neither.
I have not been to Buffalo Wild Wings since a long time ago.
Still good. For me, at least.
Well, the thing I think I ended up going the last one I remember being underwhelmed, but I think it was just because of that particular location was not that great. So I don't know, but I remember the last time I went in earnest and I liked it. I think it was legitimately because I was part of a fantasy football league. Like, so in my head, I always associate it with those reasons. It's almost like a cliche.
So you had your friends with you and all that stuff too. So, or enemies, I guess, if it's a fantasy league.
Well, it was coworkers, so it was a little mix.
There you go. Now, I remember in college we had in like the first part of my freshman year, we used to go to all the time, and one thing that like there would always be somebody who would order like a 5-piece of the like the really nasty the wild heat wings or whatever it was, and then just like when nobody's looking would just slip them into other people's orders.
That's freaking brilliant.
Yeah. I still remember the last one. We got my my buddy Miguel, or well, I didn't have anything to do with this, but I remember he picked up a wing and just cleaned it off completely to the bone. Just like one of those 2-bite sort of deals. He's chewing his
yeah, I love doing that.
he's like sitting there chewing it, had the bone. I just looks around too. I was like, you motherfuckers. It was one of the atomic wings.
He just knew.
Yeah, a little too late.
Ugh. Oh man, I could just like smell it. I can just smell like that super hot flavor in my nose right now. That's like how powerful this spice memory is.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, damn it! Now I want wings.
Wings are pretty good. I mean, I'm lucky the Big Wangs over here in NoHo opened up again, and they would do like the full chicken strips instead of just like the regular boneless nugget pieces of shit. Those are pretty good. Or at least nice. I like them.
I like the boneless ones I like the boneless ones occasion because then it's just like nugget time, or I can be hands free about it, Like if I don't want to get too messy, but if I'm investing in like, okay, meal, like wings is what I'm doing, then yeah, you got to go with the bone.
I mean, I know at least for me, like I'm used to working with the computer, so I don't really like getting my hands dirty. At least not.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I mean,
that's like for me, yeah, that's a big thing because like if I'm eating, it's because like it's at lunch or something, and I'm like I gotta still use my computer whether I'm just working or not working,
Exactly.
Oh God, talk about corporate horror stories. That there are times where I would go over to other people's cubicles or desks, and I would just take one look at their keyboard, and I am like, you are a sociopath. Like, how can your keyboard look so grody and so disgusting? It's like just the physical revulsion I would have. It would be like one of those things too, where I would have to like angle myself differently just to not see it, but like still tell them where on the screen they needed to like go look for something. Like, why are you looking like Igor? And I'm like, no reason, just.
It's the smell.
Yeah, basically. Oh my God.
I actually
he left the banana.
Oh,
he left the banana in one of his drawers, and like 4 or 5 months later, we were like, man, there's a lot of flies around here. Like, what the hell? And like somebody opened the drawer, and I could hear across the floor. I just heard, oh God! And it was just like a giant pile of fruit flies, just like happy as pigs and shit,
That actually,
gross.
I actually had a story of somebody left stuff in a desk that I moved to, except it was like 2 boxes of magic cards, like full-size boxes.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I mean they were all just like shit, right? Like all the good stuff was pulled out, but
still, I mean, hey, it's better than finding like nail
a
clippings
banana, an old banana.
leftover fruit.
Yeah, right.
Or an old banana.
Oh no, actually, speaking of nightmare office stories, I remember, uh, like a couple years into my old post production job. I remember one of the teams I was on for a little bit. We had a new girl who her idea of lunch was like 2 cans of tuna in milk. Yeah. It was nasty.
That's disgusting. I mean, dude, even bringing tuna to work that you prep at work is like a bit like of a jackass move. Like, you're gonna have a tuna sandwich, that's fine. Just make the tuna sandwich at home. You know?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I think she microwaved it too.
That's
Pretty
disgusting.
sure.
That is absolutely disgusting. Like, sociopath, just automatic, boom.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she didn't last very long. Also,
For me, my curiosity. No, go ahead.
She was also the person who, like, every once in a while, whenever she get angry, you just start hearing her slam the mouse on the table, on the desk, or whatever. It's like, all right, get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, just swear under your breath like the rest of us. Come on.
But I do have.
For me, one of the things.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the last thing is I remember, for me, it's one of the things like I think about is, is those people in the office that like are never working because you always see them in the kitchen area. And like in my head, I'm like, man, I really hope with this pandemic thing, like they got put under a lens because they ain't got no kitchen to mill about right now, and everyone's being under, watch. Like, are you actually producing? Like, I would love that.
Or they're just under a rock because everybody got laid off, probably. Well, no,
yeah,
they just get to be at home and basically just be a pig and shit, happy as can be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's no lens. They aren't actors.
I know, right? No, but they are people who have to deliver Excel files and deliverables. It's like, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, you don't need to see anybody for that.
Nah, you're right. I just need to see their files.
Oh God, you remember that kid who would play who would always play Nurgle at the store back in the day?
Oh God.
Yeah.
The guy who actually smelled like he never showered. You could, and the thing is too, like you talked, like I wanted to be nice to that guy, man, but like, and he wasn't a bad guy. Like he had, he had some good things to say, but whenever he was like getting too cocksure of himself, he'd just kind of be an asshole, and like you could immediately tell he was just this like stereotypical Reddit incel, Dawkins is God, God is dead, waifus are my life type of person, and it's like, man, shut up. Like, your identity is just such crap, man. Like come on, and take a freaking shower. That's why women don't like you.
Yeah. Well,
assuming you've talked to one.
I don't think he cares about that.
Yeah, it's all about the rant. It's all about the Reddit karma.
Yeah, he seemed unconscious, so to speak.
Oh yeah, no, there was definitely some
nothing there. Yeah. But no, I actually have another one to top that all off too. Same studio.
Yeah.
I had a guy. We had a guy who, and the post production studio I was working at, it was a big one because we would work on like entire movies. So we had anywhere between 300 to 500 people, depending on like the season or whatever. But
oh damn,
we had one guy who every like few months or so he would crack open a durianfruit in the lunchroom.
I don't think I know what that is, actually.
Durians are durians are the fruit where their self-defense mechanism is to smell like vomit in your nose.
Oh God!
When they're opened, yeah.
And that's a fruit that people eat.
So apparently, yeah. Apparently, the taste is actually like really good, even if the smell is shit. But the thing is also like 1 in 16 people don't aren't
They don't smell
like
the shit part.
yeah, they're not affected by it at all. They're like oh, it's just kind of weird, but it's really good. And so obviously this guy was one of those people, and I think he got talked to like at least 3 or 4 times about it.
That's like those people who like cilantro tastes like soap.
So yeah.
Like, but like that's just sucks for them, not for everybody else. Like with that, see, now I'm just thinking about evolution too, right? Because like the whole point of a fruit is for it to be eaten, so the seeds can get moved around, shat out somewhere else. Like what the hell? What the hell was this tree thinking? It's like, was it like trying to go against the market? Like, oh hey, all these other fruits act like this. I'm gonna do something totally different, and it's gonna work.
It worked.
Yeah.
Apparently, well, what the keeping predators away part works, at least.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's like it was to encourage, like it was to get predators away so herbivores would stick around to eat it. Some kind of weird multi-species symbiosis. See, you just took my utter disbelief and turned it into a cooler hypothesis.
There you go. That just means that the 1 in 16 people are more closely related to cows than, real animals, like the rest of us.
That is a wild extrapolation, which I will completely back. I'm on board for this.
But yeah, no, it was awful. Like I remember I would because every time this happened, they would eventually tape off the break room. Like with
oh god, that bad.
Yeah, I guess like I don't know, like somebody in the RF has had like some extra police tape or whatever, but it would just be like a sign with like do not enter, and then they would have the blue painter's tape just kind of taped up in between the doorway. And then the doors would be closed, that kind of thing, like they would do with bathrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, I every time I would also end up going into the break room because I was one of those guys who I would fill up my water bottle like every hour and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I would go in kind of after lunchtime, and I would just get punched in the face with this fucking vomit smell. It was horrible, just like ugh, ugh. And I was like, I'm just going downstairs for everything.
Oh man, like that's ridiculous. Just sometimes the complete like lack of awareness of some people, like even just walking on the street sometimes you're just like, god, you're stupid, aren't you? Like, there's no other solution to this.
Well, those are the same people who walk into traffic. As we've we already covered a while back, but good old pedestrians.
Well, they ain't doing it fast enough.
That's always my favorite, is the ones who will like step out like into the second lane to see where the bus is, even though it's nowhere nearby.
Like,
and you got like and it's like 10 minutes out anyway, even on the schedule.
It's like people who press the walk button when they literally just saw someone else press the walk button. It's like, you pressing it ain't gonna make it come any faster.
Actually, the ones that really get me is like whenever I'm like if I'm driving down and I just see on the intersection like the people who will go out of the way and make like a big deal to kick the walk button. It's like that shit doesn't work anyway. It's a what is it called? It's a placebo button, basically.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And B, you look like a moron too. Like just just elbow it or just press it like a normal person. Like you're not gonna contract fucking bubonic plague through your fingertips. or anything like that. Just relax.
Yeah, no, I feel like a lot of people started doing stuff like that too, like with COVID and everything. Like for me, I just wear a longer sleeve shirt and just use the sleeve and like call it a day. Or I'd use I had a pen or something, like you could do all this other stuff, but like even in a pinch, I'm like, oh, I don't have these things. Well, I got hand sanitizer in the car. I don't give a shit. Like I'll be fine. Just don't touch my face, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I touched my face.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really worry about well no, because people have been doing that for even longer. But I mean, I don't worry about touch button stuff like that. Or
Oh, neither do I.
Even worse than the street sign is whenever you see people do it in the elevator.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Or like you'll get in and there's just a fucking shoe print on the button panel. It's like this motherfucker right here. But yeah, just do it with your hands. It's fine.
My favorite was this woman I used to work with. She was like very germ conscious, but like randomly, like I worked with her enough, like a couple years, where it was like I would like forget that she was germ conscious until she made a point about doing it. But I worked with her enough where I was like, you're not always like this. And she used to do this thing, like we had this big glass door to get into our floor, and like it had like a large like iron like pull rod, basic corporate big old glass, and so like most people, you grab it from the middle because your arm is, but like she would make a point of like reaching up high to where the door like was not touched as much to like move it, and I'm like, y'all know germs move, right? Like, just like, I mean, maybe you're reducing your contact point, but it's like I feel like you're really not accomplishing a whole lot here.
Yeah.
Like I had more respect for people who use tissues to open the door, because I'm like, okay, that I understand. Like that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, but it's also like, just get out of the way. Let me do it.
Yeah.
I don't like the tissue thing either. Or at least
Yeah,
waiting for other people to do it.
Yeah, it can be frustrating.
Well, I mean, plus too, like the way I figure it, like I'm not just randomly gonna like start licking my hands or anything like that and be like, oh no, I touched the door handle. It's silly me.
I always do this before my ritual hand licking.
Yeah, right. It's like it's that. Well, maybe people do that. Who knows? I mean,
I have a hard time believing that the people who are conscious enough to be like, oh well, I shouldn't lick my hand after I've touched the doorknob, are the same people who are like also, oh yeah, licking my hand is fine. I feel like there's a bit of a disconnect at that point.
Like, well, I was just reading a book and I was turning the pages and I caught COVID.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, my tongue, I could feel it melting. Oh man.
As we say, unconscious. But what do you think?
I think it's a good place to call it.
We are definitely well past the hour mark.
Yeah.
With everything. Spirit, did you just put the tip into your mouth there, or is that the other end?
Not the bad end.
I was gonna say. Well, oh fuck! What movie? I think it was The Other Guys. Where did you see that one with Wahlberg and Will Ferrell?
Yeah. I love that movie.
Yeah, and then or no, not that one. Cop Out is the movie I'm thinking of, with Bruce Willis and Kevin Hart. Same deal.
No,
Where they're buddy cops, and then there's like the other two moron cops that are out to get them, and they're the other two are like out investigating a murder scene or whatever, and one of them like kind of pokes like some guy gotten shot in the head and he like pokes the bullet wound with his pen or whatever, and then he like starts thinking and just kind of puts the pen in his mouth and like ugh. It's like, oh fuck.
That's really good.
That could have been you.
Could have been me just now.
Yeah. Anyways, it sounds like everybody's getting tired and I gotta pee anyway, so that has been this has been another episode of the jankityasspodcast. Once again, if you haven't done so already, go down to the corner of the screen here, go to Multi-Murdy Media and subscribe. You'll get all the shows. You'll get this, the Jankity Ass Podcast. You get the Gutsy Ass Gamer, and you get the Poncho's Paint Booth for all your hobby stuff. And obviously, Tom's into hobby stuff, and you can find him at our friend's podcast,
TFG Radio, where we talk about 40K for the most part.
And the occasional historical weirdness.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
And lots of memes.
Yeah. Inside jokes, which you'll have to go over there to see for yourself. And speaking of podcasts, once again, if you'd rather listen, which is fine, we're on every major podcast platform. That's your iTunes, your Spotify, your Pandora, and a bunch of other ones in between. Also, check out socials, Multi-Murdy Media on Instagram and Facebook. You get updates for all the shows and, the occasional other thing that I post in there as well. And last but not least, go to multimurdymedia.com, which you'll also find here in the show notes. That's the website for all my shows and also the model gallery that I have up. And yeah, so that's just like all the links to all the good stuff. So
all the things.
All the links to all the things. So, yeah, there you go. We will see you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.